Hey guys, welcome back to Project Nine Oaks. We got another project on the camper today. So if you've been seeing my previous videos, we have this vintage camper. It's a 1972 camper, and we did a lot of work on it, but I was trying to not work on the black tank, and I am going to have to now. So originally I thought it all was fine, but after diving into it more, it's not. And so what happened is the exit drain on the bottom of the tank was hit. It sticks down below the camper quite a lot, and previous to us purchasing it, during the travel, it was hit. That drain was hit, and it kind of pushed up onto the tank, and so it cracked the tank where that drain kind of comes in. And I didn't see it originally, but I tried to fix it after we were kind of pretty much done with it, and with some plastic weld and some Flex Seal. And still didn't work. It kind of got it to a slow drip, but you kind of don't want any drip on the black tank. So I'm going to go start replacing it today. It's going to be a few days worth of work, and so I'm going to show you all the pieces that I've got right now, kind of how it's set up now, and then show you what I'm going to be doing. So let's dive in, and hopefully this will be a 1, maybe 2 day project. All right, so here's the black tank. This is the only tank that comes on this camper. So everything else is just straight the water supply line, and we don't have a gray tank either. So just this black tank. Its only use is for the toilet, which is right behind this fiberglass here. The drain in the floor goes straight into the top, straight into this tank, and you can tell the tank bottom is sloped, and it's on this styrofoam, and then it gets thicker as it goes that way. But so the only piping is right here. You probably can't see up in there, but where the toilet connects, then over here behind this like cardboard wall, I guess you call it, is the vent that comes to the top. So I'm going to cut a hole into that cardboard. You can kind of see some of the piping up there. It's that black pipe behind the wood, and that's going straight to the top. So I'm going to cut that. So we're going to reattach that to the new tank. And then if you go under the camper, that's the drain right there, and that just drains right at the bottom of the tank. So I'm gonna have to cut that off and remove it. So the plan is that I can't remove it from this back hatch of the camper. I am gonna have to take off this skin right here, probably just like the bottom 2 pieces here to maybe like 6 feet back or so, and then slide the tank out the side of the camper, and then I'm gonna slide the new tank in the same way. So this is the new tank. I'll have a link to where I got this from, but it was a similar size, same thing. The bottom slopes. It is smaller than the other one, so it's not quite as long, and so we'll see how that works. But we're gonna go ahead and start removing a lot of this, and I'll bring you in when I got some progress made. All right, so the tank is in. You saw me kind of fishing it through the back hatch here. This tank is a little bit wider than the old one, and so it couldn't come in from the side like I took the old one out. There were some studs in the wall right there that were too narrow. Of a gap is like a ½ inch too narrow, but I didn't want to mess with all that and start taking that out. So I was able to take off this like plywood curbing that I put in here before, and then put the tank and slide it in from the back. So right now, and then I put that like 3/8 plywood underneath just to kind of help give it a new floor for this tank to sit on. The old plywood is still there. It's seen better days. It's not completely dust, but it's, you know, not the best. So I added this other layer, so that's in there now. So I'm gonna secure this, then secure this tank down. I haven't quite figured out how I'm gonna do that yet. I also have to raise the back to make it, you know, kind of slope towards the exit. So we're gonna start doing that next, and then I'll bring you in from when I figure out what I'm gonna do. So let's start doing that. Okay, so now is the time to actually cut the hole for the toilet, and I'm a little nervous actually. So I was kind of looking at it at different angles and making sure I got it right, but I think I do. This is the flange that came with the tank, and it's what this will fit inside of. So the toilet flange is going to sit on here when it's all said and done, and there's a piece of plywood that's built into this fiberglass. There's like a fiberglass top of plywood and then a fiberglass bottom, and that's what this screws down into that plywood to hold it, you know, secure. So I had to get a hole saw the size of this rubber flange, which is 4 inches, so a 4-inch hole saw, and that's going to take some coaxing. I think it's just 4 inches, and that'll fit down in there. There's really not much of a room for error if you're off a little bit. And then once that's in, then you just force this in there. It should work, so we'll see. I'm going to start cutting with this 4-inch hole saw. Make sure I'm exactly center. All right. All right, so that grommet fit in there pretty good, actually. And then when this force is forced in there, it actually expands the grommet some. And I think I'm going to put a little, I think I got some soap in here. Something to help this slide on there a little bit better. They tell you to do that in part of the directions. Just allows it to slide into that grommet better. And then you're going to want to align these slots, you know, to the side to where your bolts that attach the toilet, so you can have them on both sides so the toilet's nice and straight. So be sure these slots are, you know, to the right and the left of the hole. So the tank is flexing down when I push down on it. It doesn't want to slide in there. I'm trying to pull up on the top of the tank to try to get it up in there. All right, I'm going to check around the other side, see if there's something odd going on out on the outside. No. What else I can do? Okay, I'm back after making some changes. So when you put this in the grommet expands because it's tapered and to get thicker on the bottom of the grommet. So when you put it in the tank, the bottom of the grommet expands underneath the lip of the tank to hold it in. However, the hole I drilled is a slightly too small. It's 4 inches, but when it expands, it wants to be like 4 1/8 inch. So I can't just make the hole a little bigger. So what I ended up doing was just trimming this toilet flange to where when it goes in, it doesn't expand the grommet as much. It still does it some, but it's just not as much. So I'm gonna try it now. So hopefully it'll go in there fairly well, and it won't try to push out of the tank too much. I think it's still going to do it some, but maybe not as much. Alright, so it's pretty good. I think it wants to stick up just a little bit, but not too much. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this in. And so then this is mounted, and it keeps the tank stationary. And now I'm gonna drill the hole for the vent. Alright, so I went ahead and installed the vent pipe. I didn't show you guys that. It's kind of a little bit of a tucked in place back there, so it really wasn't easy to film. So I was able to get it just hooked up. It's an 1.5 inch pipe with 2 elbows in it, so it wasn't that much of a big deal. So now it's on to the big drain. So I have the 3-inch drain pipe that's gonna get glued into the end of the tank itself, and I have a mark of how far it went in before. I'm hoping it'll go in a little bit farther once I put the glue on it and kind of lubricate it up. A 3-inch elbow that's going to go down and take it through the bottom of the camper, and then I have a little bit of a piece of pipe that's going to go up in there, and then I have the gate valve or the dump valve for it. So this fits over the pipe. So when you're searching for a of course, hey, it's my dog coming to say hey. All right, so when you're searching for one of these gate valves, there's different types to get and all that. They're kind of different configurations. So just really look and see what you need. In my case, I needed the 3-inch valve, which is kind of pretty much the standard, but it has the hub connection on the end that's going to be more like a coupler fitting that fits over top of the 3-inch pipe. You can get the spigot side of it, which I think goes inside the pipe, or it's either that or it's the same size as the pipe. I'm not 100% sure, but I was able to get the hub side of it, and then it's just the side where you have the twist on side on the where it's going to be actually, you know, attaching the hose. So really what's going to happen, I'm going to put this into the tank, glue it in, glue this little connector piece on, and then glue this on underneath as well. And so then it'll all be set, and I'll let it sit for about an hour or so before I test it out. And then I'll have some other things, like, you know, I got to kind of secure everything, strap it down, stuff like that, to get it you know, kind of set more permanently. So let's get installing this. All right, so there you have it. I have it all glued in. I got the PVC connected in there, and I have, if you can see, that black strap that's kind of crisscrossed over the top and then stapled into the board below to help stabilize that pipe, just so it kind of takes some of the force off of this connection with the tank. And then down below, get over here. All right, so down below here we have the little section of pipe, and then the gate valve here with the twist-on connection. And I have the handle going kind of sideways. It's going to be going kind of this direction, not straight out here. The reason is it may hit the tin, you know, the siding of the camper. And so if I put it at an angle, that allows me to not have to lower this another 1/2 inch or so just to be sure it clears the tin here. So ended up doing it kind of at an angle to help with that, just that height. I like to keep this by putting it there. You can see it's kind of just even with the bottom of the frame, and just not much of a chance of it hitting, you know, hitting some bump in the road or anything. So right now I'm just waiting for this PVC to harden, the PVC glue to harden, and then I'll be pouring some water in there just to test it out and give it a good, you know, few hours to sit in there with the water, make sure there's no leaks, and then we'll be good to go. All right, so we're pretty much done with this project now. So you saw me put the water in there. I put about 5 gallons of water. It's been sitting there for about 30 minutes now, and I've got no leaks, so that's awesome. I'm not the best plumber, so it's pretty nice when it all goes well for the first try. So no leaks right now. So one thing I'm going to do is probably secure this pipe, that exit pipe, a little bit better before I kind of close the whole siding up over there, and then I'll close that up and clean up the bottom where the valve is, and put a little piece of tin around the the hole there, so kind of cleans it up, and water doesn't splash up from the road up into the wood flooring. So I gotta clean that up a little bit, but really the project is finished now, so it's time to just kind of put it all back together. So appreciate you sticking around. I really hope this helped out for you and your project. You know, a lot of these vintage campers are different, so you never know, but I'm hoping at least some of this was able to help you out in your project. So so appreciate you sticking around for this video. I'll see you on the next one.